Hi guys. Hi. Hello. Hey y'all. Hey, welcome back to the Black Blondie TV. And I am your host, Black Blondie. Join me as I dive into the drama of Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 36, and try to, unpack everything that happened in the most iconic reality TV showdown that I've seen. So, welcome again, everyone, to our final analysis of this season of Love Island USA. We have concluded navigating the turmoil, the drama, the dramatic confrontations, the shocking eliminations that define one of the most turbulent seasons in the show's history. I must say, one of the turbulent, I guess that's how you say that word, is one of the most iconic seasons I've seen on Love Island. It's been a lot going on. It was a lot this season. And I'm like, it's over now? Say it isn't so. So tonight, we'll be dissecting the grand finale where the four remaining couples face the results of the public vote from America. America, America, America. The episode featured an historic breakup, very historic, because I've never seen anybody that's in the final four break up like that. Sincere declarations of love and the crowning of the winning couple, the winning Islanders, that is arguably one of the most authentic to emerge from the villa in recent years. I would say, yeah, most authentic. It's kind of like a fairy tale. So let us begin this detailed breakdown. Okay. The most significant outcome of the evening was, of course, the crowning of Amaya and Brian. Yay, the fairy tale story of the prince and the princess, or the princess and the prince, um, as the winners of Love Island USA season 7. There's victory, and then accompanying it was the $100,000 prize. Money, money, money. Money make the world go around. You know, love don't pay the bills. Represented a winner for genuine connection in the villa that often seemed devoid of it. However, before we explore the journey, it's essential to address the moment that redefined the very nature of a finale episode. During the final romantic date of Huta and Chris, made franchise history by officially ending their relationship, not with quiet fuzzle, but with a tense emotional confrontation. And the date was so beautiful. That was such a beautiful date, y'all. I must say, like, that date was so romantic. I shed a couple tears this final episode because I love the dates that they put together. They were very romantic, very, like, it gave what it needs to give. Bravo to the producers with that, because it's like it was like a 10 out of 10 with the dates, the way they were set up. But especially I loved Huda and Chris's date because of the way that it had the water and he had to carry her. But in the when they went to the little thing and then the lady sang, it was just so cute. The little platform with the table and the food, and when the lady sings, they had champagne. It was very romantic. Like, I loved their date. And it was just so sad the way that the date ended. It was that was their official first date. And then, like they said, it made franchise history by officially ending their relationship with tense and emotional confrontation that serves as an explosive capstone to the entire season. Final dates. Final dates. The episode commenced with the final four couples embarking on their last elaborate dates. Like I said, the dates were beautiful. Pepe's and Iris, they was like on a boat. I guess he drives a boat, I guess. I don't know. She was saying he drives a boat wherever he's from. LA or whatever. He has a boat and he drives it. So I don't know if he drove it, but they went out to the water and they got to swim with the jellyfish and they saw all kind of other exotic fish down there. That was a nice. It was like very like a excursion, I would say. Their time together was pleasant. You know, they was given a lot of PTA. PTA. Is that how you say it? PTA? They was given a lot of, kissing, hugging. I'm like, okay, y'all giving a lot. They were giving a lot, honey. They were like really given the physical chemistry. They had conversations about their friends to lovers narrative. They agreed to explore their connection on the outside. I think they both live in LA. So they were talking about like going on dates and stuff. It was sweet. It seemed to genuine. It seemed to lack the profound depth of the other couples. It didn't have much, like their conversation didn't have much depth, but like they just really got together really like a couple days ago. Like they really just got together. But um their date telegraphed as for me, fourth place. I gave it their date like a 7. It was a nice date, very sweet and very romantic. And then next there was Orlandria and Nick. They were the runners up, whose date was genuinely heartwarming, doing a walk on the beach. I love a walk on the beach. Like I think that is the most romantic date ever. Walks on the beach. Like you get to talk. The beach is like so relaxing. I just think that is the sweetest date ever. Like walks on the beach and like hiking dates. I think those are sweet dates. Just walking in, being able to talk and stuff and see stuff. Um, During the walk on the beach, they discovered messages in a bottle, which was so cute from viewers and most significantly from their families. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Um, I was crying during this scene because it was very emotional. Orlandria, her sister, sent her a letter, and Nick, his dad, sent him a letter, and they were both like very inspirational letters, saying that they were proud of both of them. And I thought that was just so sweet, and I was just like, oh my god, that's so sweet. The emotions were palatable, and they were just very supportive of their union, and I just always thought that their little story was like cute. I don't know, like it just seemed like it just worked all together, from them just being like kicked off together and then being put back on together. It was just like they always had each other back. It just seems very genuine and like they were always there for each other, even in the beginning, like even the first couple episodes of the season, like they would always be trying to kiss each other. Like when they had those little like contests and stuff, little challenges, they would always be kissing each other. So I was just like, it was just like, I don't know. I just love their little story. It's just a cute story. Um, Orlandria, who had remained guarded much of the season, which I can't blame her. She stated that the public's validation made her want to commit more fully to their relationship, Nick and hers. This was a major step for them as they pledged to continue their journey post show, demonstrating a real sense of partnership that made them deserving of their second place ranking. Yeah, I really honestly think they should have won. They've been there since day one. Day one. And they've been through a lot. I honestly think they should have won. But they didn't. But it's okay. I feel like they might get a spinoff. There might be another season of After the Villa, season two, and it might be them. It might be Huta, Orlandria, Shelley. Of course they will have to bring back Amaya, the hopeless romantic. We have to have that. I'm very curious to see how their relationship will work. Um, I really hope that he doesn't let her down. Brian doesn't let her down. I'm not too keen on him. I'm not really, you know. It's just the way that he came in, liking one person, and then I'm not too keen on him. So I've got my eyes open on him, and we shall see how things work out between her and Brian. I never can remember his name, but um, when they show his little baby pictures, his pictures were so cute. I thought that was cute too, the baby pictures. But yeah. So the breakup heard around the villa. We must talk about it. It was heard around the world, actually. I am like, I I was screaming at the TV because I'm like, girl, you could at least waited till you got on her reunion. But she didn't know that they were going to get a reunion. But I kind of figured they were going to get a reunion because of all this stuff, and then all the stuff that's surrounding the show and stuff. And it's just been a lot that happened within those 30 days. And then people bullying the contestants on there. And it's just the air needs to be cleared. And I think that the reunion will clear the air for a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff people will be getting off their chests during that reunion. I feel like it's going to be who said spicy, Shelly? It's going to be spicy. I feel like it's going to be off the racks. I feel like they should bring everybody back, and everybody should be able to, like, everybody should be able to talk. If y'all know what I mean by everybody, like, everybody should be able to, you know, it should maybe be like a two-part because it was a lot of stuff that went on. It should be a two-part because it's a lot of stuff that went on that I feel like we didn't get to see and stuff. So, and then a lot of stuff that has been going on as far as like the interviews and what they've been saying and stuff in the interviews. It's been some interesting stuff, I must say. I'm not going to get into those things until we get to the reunion, but it's going to be spicy and I'm excited. But I actually kind of understand where Chris was coming from, and I kind of understand Huda's perspective on uh their relationship or what they had. I kind of feel like maybe Huda realized that she moved too fast with him. Um, Girl, 36 days. Two in 36 days. Two fellas in 36 days, Huda. Now, I'm not one to judge. I'm not one to judge, but two guys in 36 days. At least it's not two guys in one day. Okay, at least it's not two guys in one day. Okay. So I don't know what it's Lisa that too. Why do I think that's so funny? Two guys in one day. Like double date. You double booked yourself and it was two guys. You liked it both of the guys and then you hooked up with both. No, but it was two guys in 36 days. So That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad for a 25-year-old. Because, some 25-year-olds, it's two guys in one day, You had two, two ponderosas in 2 days. Some girls be having that. And why it's funny to me, we're not gonna get personal, but that's funny to me when I say two guys in 36 days and I said two guys in one day. It was funny. Okay, that's a joke, an inside joke for me. But production, they arranged such a like that was such a beautiful candlelight dinner. Like I was just like, oh my God, like that would have been so nice for another couple to have. And since Huda gave them she upped the show, with her, dramatics and stuff like that, and her, how she is, she upped the show. And so I feel like that's why they gave her the best. I feel like hers was the best date, but they just messed it up. And it was so beautiful. Like the water, it is like very relaxing. And whatever they ate, she liked it because she ate that up. She ate that food up. And she had took her champagne to go, honey, after she had to walk in the water. And then she expected him to carry her after she dumped him. But Chris was so calm, professional, gentleman like. I nod him. Cause most guys I know, most relatives I know that are guys, they would have just left her. But he was so professional because you do not want to burn bridges, in the reality world. Cause you never know, like I feel like they might put him on if they do after the villa too, that they'll put him on there and get him like in LA finding love or whatever like that. They might put him on there, or he might be in the games, the season with the games because you just don't want it. So he's very smart. He has EI, emotional intelligence, because I knew that he wanted to go off on her, but he stayed so professional and he played his role. And I just want to salute. I want to salute that brother. Now I usually don't do that, but he kind of like. I ain't gonna lie, Chris kind of like made me sit back and think like maybe there are good guys out there. Maybe there are some good guys out there that like will not get really crazy. And he on TV, well, I some guys will still get crazy on TV. They don't care. But for him, he just played it cool. Like he played it cool, and I just like really salute him. And I know that he's a very emotional man, but he put his EI on and he played it cool because most guys would have, they would have told that girl a couple things, they would have told her to some stuff. Um, I don't know. They probably wouldn't even have stayed on the show. They probably would have just left that day. From what I mean, I'm just saying. But he's a very professional. He knows his, he wants to stick to his brand, and everything is about branding. I swear, like you don't want to burn like certain bridges. Like I had to learn that early on in my life, and I'm sure like I'm glad that they're learning that at their age, but you don't want to burn bridges. Like so I'm so happy that he didn't get the stereotype or break down to the stereotype and stuff. He just kind of let her just do her thing, and he accepted it, and he played his role, and I just I just think that's amazing. And I think that that's, shows that he's a really a stand-up guy. So he initiated the difficult conversation, addressing his concern about her lack of public affection and their poor communication, which we always talked about. But what got me about Huda is She wanted that thing. She wanted that thing. Y'all know what that thing is. Let me let me go to my big indie side. She wanted, she wanted that thing the night before, right? She that confused me, right? I was like, okay, you wanted that thing the night before. I mean, are you used to doing this with guys? Or is this something new that you're trying? And so I'm not sure if that's something new that she's trying, the friends with benefits or whatever whatever she was trying to do with him. But she really wanted that thing the night before. So that's why he was so confused. You know what I'm saying? And he referenced, the recent incident where, and I was confused too, because when she met his mom, she was just like, um, that she liked him and she wanted to get to know him furthermore. But it's just, I don't know. Like maybe the baby daddy is right. I hate to say that. If y'all looking at, I'm not gonna say it because I'm not gonna say that out my mouth because I wouldn't want nobody to say what her baby daddy said out his mouth about her. So called, that's what they say. I don't know if he said that or if he didn't. It's just been on, on the YouTube streets. It's been out there that he said something about her that I'm not gonna say because, maybe I'm not one to judge. Let me tell you, you never know what them BDs gonna say about you behind your back. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of showing up a little bit if y'all go and do some research on the baby daddy and what his thoughts of her, because that's his thoughts of her. It's kind of giving that. It's giving um a little hot and cold. But like I say, sometimes with people, with your children, in life, sometimes you have to be hot and cold. So, I mean, but right off the rip with him, not knowing him maybe just 15, 20 days and showing the hot and cold side, like my homeboy used to say, he was like, girl, do not show them your crazy act. That's what he told me. My hope I'll never forget him. He was like, don't ever show no guy you're crazy until you got them under your, until they're deeply into you. Don't show them you're crazy. He was like, you show you're crazy too early. That's what he used to tell me. And I'll never forget him. And he was like, that's how he get his guys. He just don't show the crazy. And I was like, okay. And I had took that note down and I'll never forget him saying that to me because this makes me think about that. It's like, hmm, I think that she could have had him, right? If she would have just scaled back a little bit and not show, you know, not be so quick to just jump to conclusions with it and not be so quick to want him to, to be so physical with him. I think that that was the issue. And she said that at the end during her speech that, she wants it to be more like, a relationship that's emotional, more emotions, less physical, physical stuff. So the lady, she sung the Moon River song during the tearful confrontation. And I just thought that it was so sad. It was just like, girl, Huta, when you look back at that scene, y'all, because I just got finished watching it. I had some stuff going on yesterday, and I just got finished watching it. And I cried because I'm like, dang. And he sat there and he was just so like, I've never experienced a guy that's like so calm and cool like Chris. Like Chris is going to be a catch for someone. I'm sure he's gonna meet, a young lady that is, willing to deal with all that, tallness and, you know, the curly hair and, the emotions, It's nothing wrong with an emotional guy, but, I feel like both of them was kind of too, well, I feel like, I don't know. I don't know what to think about her. I don't know. I'm curious to hear about what she says during the reunion when she, sits back and watches everything. And I would like her to take notes. And I feel like therapy is a must for her. And we all need therapy. I am one to tell anybody therapy, 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 therapy. Whatever else you need other than therapy, get it so that you can be healthy and happy and you don't have to be dependent on any other kind of substances. You can just, be in therapy and, you know, following the procedures that your doctor gives to you. So that's all I have to say about that. And I'm not going to tear her down because she's my favorite. Hold on, let me stop this. Stop it. Okay. I'm supposed to be finished by now. Look, I am taking too long. Let me speed it up. But I think that she should, work on herself. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to tear her down because I actually relate to her. And I think that, she has a lot of potential and she has grown from the beginning of the show to the end. Like, she didn't blow up on him and anything. She was very calm with him. But the way that she said things, I could see how a guy would like blow up on her, especially a guy like Chris, You don't get guys. If y'all know what I'm saying, when I say guys like Chris, I mean guys like, but like I said, he's always probably had to remain, keep his image a certain way. He probably was, taught, he was raised well. You could tell he comes from his mom. They raised him well. And his sister, he has a lot of respect for women. But you don't meet a lot of guys like, I'm gonna keep on saying it because, man, some things that I have seen, how I have seen some guys act, not even towards me, but just with my eyes looking, observing things, and the things I have seen how guys act, he's really a stand up guy. And that's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to salute him. So hopefully during the reunion, he's very polite and remembers to keep his EQ high and remembers to, just take it for what it is and, you know, remember that, he doesn't want to burn any bridges and he doesn't want to make himself look a certain kind of way on TV. So I hope he still keeps that, you know, he doesn't give America what they would think that a guy like him would give. And I was so happy that he did give them what they wanted. I was so happy that he did. And I mean, him and Jeremiah, they like really, they really was very nice to my girl, Huta. They were very nice to her. Very nice. Jeremiah hasn't said anything nasty about her he has been so nice to her in the interviews that I've seen. He haven't said anything bad about her. And I must say that is a blessing for her to not have had them not, him not even say anything bad about her after the things that she said to him that was very disrespectful. He forgave her. He's like a stand up, they're stand up guys, but I think that they just are very professional guys. Probably in their mind, they probably were saying other things, but they knew that they had to keep it together because of their brands. And, I actually saw Jeremiah. I didn't really think he was a real model, but I saw him on like when I was scrolling through YouTube, he was on a ad. He really is a model. I really did think he was a model. Y'all, I'm not joking. I really did think. I thought maybe he was like, he's a model, like a commercial model. Um, like, how can I say it? Not high fashion. He's not a high fashion model. So when I think model, I always think high fashion, but he's not a high fashion model. He's like more commercial, more like uh how can I say this? More McDonald's commercials, maybe more lotion commercials, not high fashion. He's not on a runway or anything. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, is he on a runway? So, my bad. I went straight to high fashion because he was tall. I was just straight to high fashion. But yeah. But he was rejected, my boy Chris, but he handled it very well. Cause that on me. And he said that he saw red flags before. But you see, he was still gonna try to make it work because of his image. He was probably gonna wait to break things off probably after everything all was all said and done. He wasn't gonna do it while the show. He kind of wanted to play his role, but for her, she has, you know, she didn't want to play the role and she wanted to do what she wanted to do. So therefore, she broke it off with him. But I think for him, he was kind of waiting until, like, but like, oh, well, we just kind of disconnected during the reunion. Like, I think that he was going to try to say during the reunion, oh, we disconnected because, we realized that we wasn't, that would have been a better option of doing things. But, and then it was a lot of sarcasm from Huta during them announcing the winners and the top three. She was amongst the top three. It was a little, sarcasm that she was giving towards their relationship, which was very, mm, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So I must pause here as a nature of this confrontational. It has started the confrontation had a debate, X, Reddit, I read through stuff. Was Huda justified with her timing? Let me know in the comments. Let me know. Was Chris' reaction warranted? But he really didn't have a reaction. He just he played his role and he knew that it was, he well, how could she dare think that he was going to carry her back across that water? That was another thing that kind of made me think. Now, if it wasn't Chris and it was some other brother, it wouldn't have played out like that. That's all I gotta say. So, I'm hoping that Huda gets it together because I do not want her to think that every guy is going to be, every guy of color, of our distinction, of my distinction, black guys, are going to be that nice like that. Because, like I said, I haven't, you know me, I keep it real over here. I keep it real from my experiences and from watching other people's experiences. Haven't seen guys be gentlemen like that. It's not a lot of them out there. So I just hope that she knows that, they're kind of like, they're not the best guys, but they were the best guys for her to experiment on TV with because they didn't give her the reaction that most, you know. most guys I've seen do with girls, do with women and stuff. So that's what that. Please share your analysis, your theories in the comments below. Because this is worth further discussion, I really think. Because like I saluted both of them. Like like I got a brother, I got little brothers, I got a nephew. And you know they're pretty harsh at times. You know what I'm saying? I got family members. I don't know if they would have been. They may have walked off the show. They might have not have been as considerate as Chris was. Considerate is a good word. He's considerate, yeah. And I'm thankful that you know, they were considerate and they thought about themselves and their actions and how they would be portrayed on TV and how they would look as men on TV. So they thought about the after effect of it instead of just reacting. They thought about the the repercussions they would probably have to face if they didn't play the role that they didn't use their EI. They knew what the repercussions of their actions would be. And I know that it wouldn't be nice. It wouldn't be nice. You know how America is. America has a problem. I keep on saying that because I'm telling y'all, like, y'all know what the repercussions is. Y'all know if there was any other, if that was Pookie and Day Day, and even if there was Tyler or Michael might have went off too, or um, let's see, what's another, or Jaden or something. He might have went off. He might have, you know, turned over the table on her. You know what I'm saying? But they were very polite, and like I said, haven't heard Jeremiah say anything nasty about her. He just said he wished her the best. And I just think that that is so sweet. That's so nice. Like, I would be proud of my brother or my cousin or my family member if they went on the show and they were like, they played it cool like that. I would be, proud of them. Okay, so the winners circle, winners, Amaya and Brian. Following that intense segment, Amaya and Brian had their final dates, proving a welcome sense of stability and warmth in a beautiful jungle setting. Oh my God, it reminded me of I Love Lucy. Why did it remind me of I Love Lucy? I don't know why. Maybe it was her dress. It was given I Love Lucy. Um, but it was given I Love Lucy, and then her, I don't know. I mean, when I sit back and thought about it, it really was a fairy tale because she's a hopeless romantic, and I'm a recovering hopeless romantic. I am no longer a hopeless romantic, but she is one, and it actually turned out good for her, and I am so happy because that doesn't happen often. So I was very surprised that they won because usually the hopeless romantics don't usually win the guys, okay? And she won, she got the guy, and she got the money, okay? She got the bread. I'm about to say something else. She got the bread, the head, and let me stop. And the man, you know what I'm saying? She got all of it. You know, that kitty cat, he was gonna eat that kitty cat in the, hide away and all that. He did all that. She got it, you know what I'm saying? The love gods was looking out for her, They were like, Amaya, Amaya. America helped her out, get her happily ever after. It was a true Cinderella scene. Very sweet, intimate gestures. They shared their cultural backgrounds, which was good. It's always good to have someone who shares the same um values and family values as yourself. Like it's not often that people meet people who have the same, you know, and y'all actually like each other, and y'all have like the same, cultural backgrounds and stuff. So I thought that was so sweet. And I love to see where it goes from here. I'm sure they're gonna do after the villa with them, and I want to see. And I hope he don't let my girl down, because I don't know about Brian. I hope he don't let my girl down. I hope he don't. He better not let her down, cause she had happy tears, honey. She had tears of joy. I don't know if y'all know this guy. His name is Bert Simmons, and he sang this song. It's called "Tears of Joy." And when I saw her crying, I was like, that song just came to my mind. Like she had tears of joy. I was so happy for her. I love love, but I realize that love is not for everybody. Everybody's not going to meet their soulmate, but when people do meet their soulmate, or when people do, I'm like so happy for them when they meet the person that is for them. Like I'm like so overjoyed about it, because it's like such a hard thing to find. Like it's such a hard thing to find when you have somebody that sees eye to eye with you, and like y'all on the same team, and y'all know that this is like, you know there's loyalty there. And I feel like he's a very loyal guy too. I feel like he probably did really come on there for love, but we'll see. I still got my eyes on you, Brian, because if you do Amaya wrong, that might just be the end of her. Because she's such a hope. That might just be the end of her hopeless romantic stage. That might just be the end of that. But I'm hoping, I had to play devil advocate and say, I got my eyes on him, because I don't trust these, you know, I have to keep my eyes on them. I don't trust people like that. And people, she seemed like she's a genuinely good woman, a good person. And when people are like that, people, I really like want the best for them, because there's not a lot of good people out there. There's a lot of opportunists. There's a lot of users out there. There's a lot of people who are not with good intentions. But Amaya, I really think she came there for love, because she makes a lot of money on the outside. Like I told y'all on the last episode about the nurse that I used to talk to, honey. That I had talked to, boy I used to talk to, honey. They make money, honey. He felt like he had to level up. Once he graduated, he said he had to level up, honey. I said, okay, boy, bye, bye. And I'll never forget that, because I'm like, I know they made money. And you be with somebody through the trenches, and then, so hopefully he do my girl right, because she got beauty brains. She's a full package, honey. She's got a career, a real career. I mean, I'm not saying that the rest of them didn't have no career, but she's got like a career where she gonna have a job forever, for life. They gonna always need nurses. It's just certain jobs they gonna always need people for, and nurses is one of them. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't like doing the job, don't do it. But I met some nice nurses throughout my experience with the medical field. I met some nice women who are nurses and stuff, but I met some people that didn't like it at all. So it just depends. But he better treat her right. He better treat. I've been not here today together on August the 25th when they had their reunion. If I see that they're not together, I am going to say, Amaya, retire the hopeless romantic crown, because that's not getting you anywhere, sis. I will tell her to retire that, honey. Cause baby, that thing, I don't even know where that little crown at. I don't threw it away. I ain't never going back to that girl no more. That girl gone. But I love to see other people in that stage in their lives. I think it's sweet, and I think it's like such a good thing to see people really in love and really loving love and being happy being in love. So, as a couple, they made things official, which was really fast, but I feel like when you know, you know. Um, I don't know how long they've been knowing each other. Maybe 10, I would say 16 days, maybe 16 days. But they made it official, you know. Amaya lives in New York and he says he lives in what is it, Boston, so it should work. And it's a train ride. A train ride. I'm not sure. It's a train ride. I don't know. I don't know. I know I went from New Jersey to New York, and it was a train ride. Yeah, I did it a couple times when at my other career. I had to do that, so I'm pretty sure the Boston. I never been to Boston, but I'm pretty sure it's not that big of a distance. But the ceremony for the final declarations of love followed. And Iris and Pepe, they reiterated their friends to lovers theme for their date. They came the most uncomfortable portion of the evening. Then came the most look at me reading my notes wrong. Then came the most uncomfortable portion of the evening, which was Huda and Chris. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was very predictable. They managed to offer respectful words for each other. Like I said, I salute you, Chris. You a stand up guy, like stand up guy, like he stood 10 toes down, and he was like he's a gentle giant. You know what I'm saying? He's like I'm stalled by him. that that is so sad that I feel that way. But y'all, if y'all would know, and I said I'm not gonna keep things personal. I'm not gonna get personal no more on here. I'm gonna keep things purely professional on here. But if y'all know the things that I've saw, and what this is why I think that he's a stand-up guy. Cause I done seen some things, and he was very respectful to Huda, and I am very proud of him. And this is from a black woman to a black man. I'm very proud of you. Very proud. Like very, very proud. Jeremiah, very proud. Like if I had a brother, I would want my, or if I had a son, well, if God blesses me with a son, um, I would want him to handle his stuff like that. You know, keep it A1, always keep it together. Baby, always keep the image together. Remember that, the fam is looking. You're representing the family name, represent my legacy well. And I feel like he represented his legacy well. And, you know, we have to, I don't know if people still believe in that legacy thing, but I believe in that legacy thing. And I believe in that you're a representation of your family. And so I think that at a young age, we should teach our children that, but everybody's not teaching their children that. But for me, as long as they're in my house, that will be our legacy. That will be something that I will be teaching my children. um it's about legacy and having honor and representing your family and representing where you're from, and remaining humble, and having remember that it's not it's nothing is personal, and that you have to take it with a grain of salt and just let it roll off your back, because at the end of the day, something wonderful and beautiful could come out of him being on that show. You know what I'm saying? Something beautiful could come out of there. Like many things. Like I said, all of them, some good things are gonna come out of that show. So for them just, being graceful and being nice to her and being respectful to her, because he represented his family well. He's a stand up guy. So he did the respectful words. Huddle was wishing him well. At the end, she showed maturity and she wished him well, which was it was so. I don't know. I'm really just gonna say this. From an African American to another African American man, Chris, and Jeremiah. It's not often that they are able to that we're able to have honor of for our names and our family, because that's going to stay on TV forever. It's always people are always going to look back at that. That was his first reality TV show. What if he wants to be an actor, or wants to do other things? They're going to look back at that show. So that he portrayed himself in a good context. And I want to say that, we're not all African Americans are not all we still have some tech about ourselves. Like, we still believe in legacies. We still believe in representing our families. We still believe in families. We still believe in respecting each other, respecting others. We, we still, there's people out there, because sometimes it could feel like, as a woman of my caliber, it could feel like it's not a lot of people who are, you know, want to stand for something and who want to stand on business and stand on business very respectfully. And from this season, I saw like a couple of them. They they really made me proud to see them on TV. I wasn't ashamed to see them represent African Americans on TV. I wasn't ashamed. I was actually proud of them. And it was, Chris, Jeremiah, Orlandria, Shelly, even Ace, even Ace, Um, yeah, I was proud of them. They didn't overdo it. They did just enough. And I'm proud of them. And everybody's not doesn't want to be um the stereotypes. Everybody doesn't want to be that. There are people out there that want to be different. They want to stand for something. They want to have standards. They want to build legacies, and they want to have, you know, their name to be called up, to be a great image, a great name to have. So everybody is not like forgotten. Um, People have traditions, and they have like Alandra said, she said she never introduced anybody to her mother, and she's young now, but I am 30 something years old. Never introduced stuff from one. High school, that really don't count. None of them to my mom or my dad, because they just didn't meet the caliber. They just didn't meet it. And I feel like you shouldn't be introducing in and everybody, regardless if they are your friends, or um because people will put on a show and stuff, and then your family will ask you about, oh, well, what happened to that friend, what happened, and you don't introduce them to your family, and your baby don't, people don't got connected to the people, or your children done got connected to them. That's why or your niece or nephew got connected to them, and they're gone. Because people are like, you just never know. So, like, that's why I feel like there's other people out like there that just don't be introducing everybody to their mom and their daddy, and they're African American. I know that it might be a thing that, you think that we just introduce, people may think that out there, that we introduce in and everybody. People like me that look like me introduce in and everybody to our parents, but that's not true. We don't. We don't. Some people are careful, and some people are, they're cautious, because some people, like, even when I just talked about them, your parents could, even if you talk about some people, sometimes your parents have so much wisdom, they could tell you, oh no, that's not it. And sometimes they don't know, they can't see it, they can't see the red flags, but sometimes they do. So it's just like sometimes it's not even worth you introducing them to your parents. And that goes for friends, that goes for um boyfriend, girlfriend, if you don't think that you're going, if you really don't, they really ain't staying 10 toes down with you, and if you don't feel like they really genuinely your friend or genuinely your, this is just a bit of advice for me to give to anybody that's younger and they're out there dating. Because I've had some people, they didn't even introduce me to their mom because they was not taking me serious like that. And to be honest, I was never taking them serious like that either. So we were like even Steven, and I just feel like when it's like that, don't even get your parents and stuff involved because they get all excited and stuff, thinking y'all gonna be together, or your if you have kids or something, and they be thinking, oh yeah, they're gonna be my new mom or dad, and then it just don't work out, and then it's just like they keep on asking you about it. Cause one of my friends, she got like a daughter, and her daughter just keep on asking her about people from the past that they once hung around, and it's kind of hard to say that, to especially young children. Do not introduce everybody to them because some people are just not, they just don't have good intentions and they're not good people. So I would just tell anybody if they're young and they're dating, or if they're a single mom, or and they're dating, or single. Oh, do they have single dads? Oh, I guess they do, but nobody talks about them. I'm not gonna get into that. They're like non-equivalent. There's something that is just all on the single moms. It's never on them. So we're not even gonna put them in the equation. I can only speak for me, and I'm a single mom, so I can only speak from my experiences. And I would say, do not do that because then you just have to always remember them. And it's like once you're done with something, you don't want anybody just to be bringing them up. You just want to kind of let it pass and just be over. And then your kid is just asking you about them, and it's just not a good look. And I just don't feel like you should don't introduce anybody that you don't think is worthy of meeting your parents, or even if they try to like push you to do it, don't do it because it's a reason why you don't want to do it. Um, they just don't meet the cut, and maybe you just don't meet the cut. They meet their parents either. So that's how life is. So everybody said their little talk and stuff like that. So, like I said, Orlandria and Nick, they came down to the end, and Amaya and Brian. And of course, Amaya and Brian were the winners of Love Island USA Season 7. And their win was victory for perseverance. Amaya entered on day 5 and struggled through several connections. I'm going to get emotional with this part. And often she felt misunderstood. Casa Moore was her turning point where she met Ryan, which who appreciated her personality from the start, and he accepted her for who she was from the start. He wasn't trying to change her. He accepted her for the big personality. If you haven't watched it, she has such a big personality, Amaya. She cries. She cried on most of the episodes. She just had a big personality. Like she was like very animated, very she was just always herself. And I really admire that she was able to just always be herself, and she wasn't afraid of you know the aftermath of it. If y'all, after everything cools down and then she looks back at everything, I feel like she'll be okay with it. I feel like her, she'll personally be able to be okay with it because that is really her. Um, she never really showed. She got angry a couple times, but it wasn't like crazy angry. She didn't call anybody out their names or anything like that. Um, so his loyalty was tested during a mailbox twist where her former partners, the way that they did her, it was just, it made me feel some type of way too. But when I was watching it or whatever, and when I would do the reviews about it, I didn't really want to say anything because I didn't want people to think that I was trying to make Amaya the victim or whatever. Um, because she herself, I know that she wouldn't want anybody to think she was a victim. But some of the ways that they were talking about her, it was because they was kind of like they kind of wanted to take her joy. Um, that's how I feel like sometimes people don't like you because they don't like the joy that you have within you, or they don't like the spirit that you have within you. Um, and they want to break you. And those kind of people you cannot have around you. And so, but she still was friends with